Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here, of course, for Made in Abyss.
Episode 10.
Yes.
And now we are
getting into the fourth layer with those mushroom
things.
Yeah, kind of plant things.
Right, but they're like reverse mushrooms.
Of sorts, yeah. They're like pools of stuff in them or what have you.
Yeah.
They look pretty cool.
They did.
But given that we didn't really have any people we interacted with this episode,
we're probably going to get
someone
this episode.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
But given that there's only 4 episodes left in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because there's 13, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not a lot more that can happen, but I'm thinking that, you know, they might try and shove in a bunch, like, in the next few
yeah,
episodes.
I can see that. We're probably, if we don't get a white whistle, I don't think we'll get a white whistle this episode, but if not this episode, we'll definitely be getting one soon.
Right. I think this episode might end, if anything, with them bumping into a white whistle. That would be a cool...
Sure.
That would be a cool
I can see that.
Yeah. All right. We're excited, so without further ado, let's get into this episode and see what happens. Is it safe to go into? Hot water. Okay.
Alright.
Right.
The waterfalls are cool. Okay.
Oh. Interesting. Oh.
Alright.
Interesting. Yeah.
Hopefully there's no creatures around here. Uh-huh.
Right. Oh.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could die.
Okay.
様々な命と思いをたたえこぼす奈落の杯手を伸ばす者に与えられるのは乾き潤す美酒かそれとも身を焼く毒か
Found a good spot for camp.
Looks like.
トゲトゲの卵があったでしょ。あれが帰ってね。あのイカみたいのになるんだって。あの種類はまだ名前が付けられてないんだけど。
Dang. That's so cool to think about. Like,
アビスの生き物で名前が付いてるのってまだ1割もいないの。
10% of the ones you know of.
right.
どうしたの
New character.
生き物
Yeah, possibly.
僕らが喋っている間だけ動いているんだ今は動きがないがどうも妙だ
So they're being
こちらからは
watched.
全く位置がつかめない
That handy trick.
Yep.
リコ大丈夫か
せめてキャンプができるとこ見つけなきゃね。
Someone else
どう
walked
した
in.
のレグ。
I heard that too. Oh crap.
Wait.
What is that?
What?
Run.
Okay.
Run. Whatever it is, run.
Yeah.
No.
こいつか
ダメ。レグ逃げて。
近づかれるまで気配がなかった
No, just run.
あれが真相の獣か
Holy crap.
Oh, that's bad.
避け切ったと思ったのに早いいや退路を読んだんだ
It's intelligent.
プレイスリーブが。
奴の足元かまずいな
Whoa. Holy crap.
Okay, this thing
Yeah,
is
run.
really smart.
と
Run.
いうのか
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
あいつ自分より大きいものにひるむの。
Is this like a territorial like threat display?
Maybe.
No, it's just gonna kill him.
Whoa.
大きさが全然足りないじゃないか。
No, not
ダ
nearly.
メだリコ、一旦ブレイズリーブのあたりまで動こ。
No.
Oh crap!
No.
No! 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 No!
レグ、毒が何か縛るもの。
リコ、少し痛むぞ。
Ow!
Oh.
Yeah, at the
腕
elbow.
を出して。
Tight, tight, tight. But that's not going to be enough.
つけられる上だ。しかし、
Oh, no, 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 no.
Oh
No,
crap!
no, no, no. No, 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 no.
血の激痛と流血。
Actually, that might help. It might help get the poison out.
リコ、
Because the hole in her hand is technically an orifice now.
Holy crap!
And that
no,
could be how they-
No, no, it.
ごめんね、レグ。
Holy crap! Yeah! Intimidate it. Oh my gosh, this is going to. No, 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 no. This is going to be bad. This is going to be bad.
Now we're gonna get to see it happen in slowly. They're not actually gonna, like, she's gonna be fine.
あまり痛くない。
Oh.
何これじゃ、あとは止血して。
Oh!
そうだよ。レグ、 最
Oh no, 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 no.
受けたら止血。
リコ、目を覚ませ。何倍に腫れているん
Oh
だ。
my gosh.
手袋を外さないと。
And take the rope off.
Oh!
痛かったか。すまん。
Oh no! No, no, no. Oh! 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 Oh no, no,
No, they're talking about the glove. I think they're talking about the glove.
正気かリコ。
No, I
そん
don't
なこと
think
をしたら
so.
君は。
お願い。
Oh no, 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 no. Oh crap.
骨を折っておかないと。
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Oh,
no,
this is 147 hours all over again.
切るの大変だったって。
No, no, no.
At the
They
elbow.
あ
Yeah,
の時
they are not.
they are doing this.
They are
Jacob.
not.
リコが苦しむんだぞ。行くぞリコ。
No.
Oh man, this is gonna.
Oh!
Oh! Oh man. Do it, buddy. Do it, buddy. We
You
believe
have to
in you.
finish it.
We believe in you. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, come on.
You have to
Come
finish it.
on, Come on.
リコ、僕だ。ここにいるぞ。リコ、もう意識が。必ず連れて行ってや
Come
る。
on, come on. Come on,
すごい熱だ。
don't.
君こそ僕を置いていくな。
Yeah.
急げ。
Oh. Come on. Do it.
She's already unconscious. Okay, now the thing is, he'll need to use his incinerator to cauterize it.
Yeah, just a little bit. That would
Yeah.
be perfect. Yeah.
息してない。リコ、息をしてくれ。リコ、リコ、リコ。
No.
こ待って。リコ。
Are they actually doing this?
No, they're no.
Come on, come on.
うるさいな。
Oh,
The
now you
person that's
decide to
gonna-
show
ま
up?
だ心臓は動いてるよ。今にも止まりそうだけどな。まあ、こりゃひどい。
どうすれば教えてくれ。
Do it. Whatever you need to do, do it.
Yeah.
どうすれば呼吸を戻せる。
お前が直接息を吹き込んでやりゃいい。
Oh. All that color come back to her face. Oh,
Uh-huh.
God.
息が戻った。よかった。
お前、こいつオイラのアジトまで運びなよ。なんとかしてやる。
本当か。どこの誰とも知らぬのに。
まあ、ちょっと離れてくれね。
This is the next person to help them
Right.
on their way.
Yeah, it made sense that they would find a person at this lair.
今は呪いはないから。急
What?
がないと全身その腕みたいに膨れちゃうぜ。
Those were a few whistles on the
洞
walls.
窟の道具。
Yeah.
それに
She's a forager.
笛か。なあ、あんたは。
That's why I don't think we should trust her. She was waiting to see if they would
そういや名
die.
前も言ってなかったな。
Maybe.
オイラはナナチだ。お前らタンクツカが言うところの慣れ果てだよ。
Right.
Wow.
Okay. So,
I'm still shook, man.
yeah.
So-
Me too.
So they kind of just dropped that on us all of a sudden.
They did. They did. And
In a way, you feel like there was a little bit of them just being like, "Hey, viewers, are you awake? Shock factor."
yeah.
You know. Oh boy.
And they we knew that the whole bleeding out of every
Yeah, we
orifice
knew that
thing,
that was a
that was a
problem.
thing.
That was a thing.
We
We were ready for that. We were ready for the threat of
thought
this
we
whole
were.
thing. But I think once we saw the verticality of this layer with the goblets and the fact that they would have to go down them at some point, the idea that the reason why they're kind of conveniently there is it's a natural protection against any creatures or even explorers that want to get away from the wildlife on the floor, or maybe they just ended up stumbling
sure.
into a place where this porcupine thing was
right.
and just got unlucky. But,
Yeah.
wow. I was not ready for the level of horror. and
I don't think I don't think it's possible really. It would have been possible to be ready for that.
Yeah. Because we kind of got the idea that this show would have dark things that would happen, but it wouldn't be the kind of thing where it would just be a random surprise.
Right.
It would be very much
Yeah.
built up to it, and it would be dun dun dun, But this
yeah.
was more
This-
psycho music.
Yeah,
and
and
just
and to be fair,
terrifying.
it adds a lot to the idea of the abyss is very dangerous. A random monster can almost kill you, and probably would have if not for the help of that hollow person.
Yeah, the idea that not only was that the most terrifying thing, but also the fact that once she started bleeding, I was not ready for the blood to be so everywhere.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of a steady little bit, but it was just gushing, and she was losing her color in her eyes as they bled
Right.
red as well.
The worst part for me was seeing the reactions of Reg and also of Rico as the fact that it's oh, you need to cut off my arm.
Yeah. But first you have to break it.
Right, but first you have to break it. And the fact that before the person actually showed up, they actually did break it. He actually did start to cut it off.
Wow. Here's the thing. I forgot in a second that these are main characters. That was done so terrifyingly well that I legitimately thought she could die.
Yeah, right.
We were getting towards the end of the season, and I was like, all right, this could be going crazy here. It's the idea that she's died once before, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And
they could do something weird, but well, especially I legitimately was scared for her survival.
And especially since they had set up Rico to be the soul of the show.
Yeah.
But they set up Reg to have a lot of sort of the plot mysteries of the show.
Right.
So that if they had wanted to continue it where Reg is now the main character, they could have.
Yeah. But that was so stressful. Oh my gosh. When you have these characters who that plucky innocence about them, you can do certain things like this where you build them up to where they're not really aware that they're in danger constantly. I think Rico wasn't really aware that she was in the netherworld, and that was the point that
that Reg wanted
to remind her of, and she kept like going towards specific environments and being like oh, what's this? It looks cool. And he's like, Rico, you should be a little bit more cautious.
Well, and also just the whole thing that Reg was being too hesitant for the fact that it's like, okay, you're essentially now in an epic level dungeon. You don't, if you see something,
you run,
or you blow it away.
Yeah, you don't stare and go,
right.
What is it?
Fear cuts deeper than swords. You don't hesitate. You don't whatever. Just act immediately.
Yeah, but they couldn't. They were just transfixed with...
Right, because they're 12-year-olds, so of course.
Oh, man. That hurt. Like, that physically hurt me. There's a level of which I think you can go to brutal areas and get a little bit of a gut-wrenching reaction, but then there's other bits where you actually make them experience physical pain because, they're getting so into the story.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was... probably something that I don't know if they took it too far, but they were willing to take it as far as they needed to.
Yeah.
And maybe even farther. And I feel like that's a really impressive thing that this show is capable of doing, because I'm still really interested in watching the rest of the show.
Me too.
But I could see a lot of people right at this spot being like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
That was not cool.
Yeah.
The idea that, one, she's a little girl,
right.
Nothing to do with being a girl or something like that, but also Reg's a little boy,
right?
And he has to do this stuff to her while she's experiencing the things that the story is doing to her. It's the idea that there's no one of them got the worst of it. It was definitely a thing that both of them are now traumatized.
Absolutely,
absolutely, completely, and totally traumatized. It's the question of will they survive this part mentally. It's the idea that the abyss has all of its effects with the curse and the monsters and all these things, but will this be too much for them? Will they be able to overcome the potential mental scarring and literal physical scarring?
Yeah. Well, I think what the hollow person said is has a real double meaning. Saying part? That I can fix the arm, but it won't go back to how it was before.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't going back to how they were before. There's no way.
They might have fully come to the awareness that they cannot go back.
Right.
The idea that
this is a one-way trip.
I don't think ever really fully set into Rico.
Right.
She did think about it. I feel like Reg didn't care as much because he knows that his identity answers are at the bottom. In a way, just as much as Rico does.
But she probably had this idea that, like, I can come back to Orth with my mom.
Or at the very least, that she might be able to be remembered as a hero for the things that she can send back. But I think even that...
just...
Yeah.
The possibility that she could die and no one else knows.
Yeah, I think the idea is that everything that she does here, unless there's something crazy that happens, she won't be coming back. She won't be getting remembered by anything like that. And all of that will be made aware to her when she wakes up and sees either her arm missing or a stump of whatever is left.
One of the things I have to give them props for, that they decided to do this and then they stuck to their guns with it.
Yeah.
they made it over the top, but I didn't feel like it was ever like over the top for the sake of being over the top.
You didn't think it was gratuitous.
I didn't think it was gratuitous, like because this was a part that was supposed to be gratuitous in a sense, you know. So like there was reasoning behind it.
So it was gratuitous.
It was gratuitous, but it was.
But in the meta, it wasn't gratuitous.
Yeah, exactly. And
I see.
And I.
It's kind of a thing of saying like, well, we did warn you.
Exactly.
Here's the thing that I think fantasy stories do sometimes wrong is they'll tell you how crazy things can get,
and then it's not.
They'll never show it.
Exactly.
So this is the example of where you're like,
yep.
Sorry, we have to show this. Yeah.
And more than the bleeding, more than the swollen arm,
the sounds,
mm-hmm. the breaking of the bone,
the screaming,
Rico screaming, the
them
crying,
saying each other's names.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this could have been like a horrifying cliffhanger, but I'm glad they gave us a little bit of resolution to knowing that at the very least she's going to be okay. She's going to live.
Yeah.
But
and this,
I guess we know she can't die now.
Well,
I mean, we don't, but
there's 3 more episodes. They can take it to. Yeah, how are they going to one up this?
What if this is actually part of a coming to be similar to Reg? Is that at some point she'll get her own cybernetic arm from the people?
I was wondering about that.
Like the idea that once they find out
yeah.
Reg's like home, basically,
mm-hmm.
what if she'll end up becoming one like them?
Right, or if she'll get some kind of relic that will, you know,
possibly. That's another good point. Is they have all these relics they brought with them, but everyone who's like a white whistle seems to have some kind of relic that like changed them in some way.
And especially since it's the idea that, you know, towards the surface they're kind of okay relics, but as you get deeper they're better relics. And I would say maybe that's one of the things that they could improve is making it so that they are still coming across relics as they're traveling.
Right.
Because I mean, I get that you don't want to have it be some chaotic thing of like, oh, here's a +3 fire sword, and, you know,
a relic behind every corner and stuff like that. I think that having them be more like scenery things, like the boat, is a great example of a relic.
Yes,
because it's
yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
then I think about it, relic by its name is basically like saying a forgotten piece of ancient history. Like
yeah,
like so maybe that's, you know, another bit for the ancient civilization bit.
Sure,
but. There was a decent bit of world building this episode, actually. They mentioned about a way that the environment changes every 2,000 years.
That's right, specifically on the 4th level. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the idea that they have mentioned 2,000 years before. They mentioned 4,000 years, and we were wondering at some level, like, why is there like some like kind of levels to the whole thing? Maybe there's been kind of a recurring nature of things kind of altering within the abyss, possibly.
Yeah. But at the very least, the talking, you know, anytime you give like segments of a very long time, you know, like thousands of years, that's going back.
Yeah,
to
this isn't the type of show that would waste time with having those things all be false.
Exactly.
They might be incorrect in some areas, but they're
inaccurate.
But they're trying to tell us some world building in a specific area,
right?
So that's important.
So
other than that, it was kind of a little bit of stuff about the giant's goblets and why they look a certain way.
Yeah,
why they, you know, are grown a certain way. The fact that some of them are different plants connected to them entirely based on trap mechanisms that the plants themselves incorporate.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy cool stuff. But that, I'm sure, is like, that's like one of those moments where they're like, wait till they get to that part where Rico is like crying, coughing up blood out of her ears, mouth, and nose and eyes, and Reg has to chop off her arm. Well, congratulations, we did it. Oh my gosh.
So I'm guessing that since there are 3 episodes left,
we're
gonna get the aftermath of this, you know, as the episode that'll introduce this other character.
That'll probably be our last thing on this layer.
Right, that'll probably be the last thing on this layer, and then I get the feeling the next 2 episodes will be on the Sea of Corpses. That's where we'll meet the helmeted mischievous, you know, scoundrel White Whistle. and then maybe at the very end of the last episode, they'll finally get to the sixth layer. Yeah,
I think they could get to the sixth layer. I feel like my prediction of them making it to every single layer makes sense from just going all the way up to where everyone else has gone before. Mm-hmm. It's basically them exceeding the white whistles in some way.
And then the lead-in, the tie-in to the next season is that now it's all new territory. They have no idea what's after this because no one's ever come back from this depth.
And I'm wondering also, because they're getting into this portion of the story, is there going to be some way that they accelerate their time throughout these, next, at least one layer, but potentially the Sea of Corpses in addition to the
whichever one comes after that.
Yeah, it's some kind of Lost City thing. That's what I remember.
Right,
when they showed
also
the picture,
what the opening seems to be.
Yeah, they were like, oh, and there's this crumbled up environment and stuff. I didn't
with the thing that looked like it looked like something that would be filling the abyss, like a pipe or something, dropping out onto the city with the little purple light going in between them.
That's in the opening,
right?
But I don't know if that's what this is.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else really to say about this episode in particular. It's just when those kinds of things happen, those are the kinds of moments in the show where you get a little bit sadistic and you do want your friends to watch the show to see get to that part and see how they felt and stuff. I think that actual moment in the show, there are specific people I would not recommend this show to now. There's a very specific set of people I know who I'd be like, nope, this isn't their show.
Right.
One of the things that this brings up is something that I feel like needs to get brought up a little bit, is the idea that the kids, based on their upgrowth, they're growing up in that environment and stuff like that, have certain types of stuff that they have to deal with. It's become normalized to them.
Right.
But one of the things I think that's, I'm not going to go in depth into this, but the idea that violence like this upon kids in particular in an entertainment medium is something that I've seen a lot of people be like, I don't want that to be normalized for me.
Right. And I absolutely understand
I absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm okay with watching this show. For me, it doesn't...
Right, because this show's built up trust.
Yes, it has built up trust. I think that they could do a lot of things that could, strain that trust. But I feel like...
Yeah.
I feel like the journey is the story.
Right.
And that journey I'm really not... I'm not really going to be dissuaded by much. It's going to take a lot. I'm sure there might be some of you, laughing oh, they have no idea, or something like that. Whatever. But I feel like this does need to be said, though.
I would not be okay with another show doing this, early on.
Yeah.
I would be like, no.
Think about it. Think about it in context, because you're right.
Because, in this show, they were setting up the show. They had a lot of, good things going for the show and all that stuff. But this kind of shock value, I would absolutely not be okay with, in a first episode kind of a thing,
Well,
of saying hey,
this is the 10th episode, Jacob.
Right, exactly. This
Think
is
about
the 10th
it that
episode.
Way.
Yeah.
This is the 10th episode. Whereas some people watch shows that have 50 episodes or more. This is the beginning of a show, Jacob.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So it might be more the middle if we think about it in terms of what the full story is. But I'll bet you this is not near the end.
Oh,
I'll bet you that the way this story is set up,
I 100%
that
agree.
they could probably go now, maybe 2 more seasons,
maybe 3,
maybe 3 more.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're willing to have this happen so early means that they might be willing to do more later. Yes. And I think that if anything, I've now tempered my. I've become cold-hearted a little bit in a specific spot, just in case I need to hide in that spot when something this horrible happens again, because that was.
Yeah.
Oh boy. There have been a couple moments in stories where I think I cried to the point where I became thirsty, which is where I'm at right now. Like, I actually need to go drink some water.
I do too.
But this one was such that I've never had this be the experience that I've had with a kid being in the story. It's generally like something really horrible in like, I don't know. We compared this to Madoka Magica a while ago. I feel like this is their Madoka Magica moment. That like is the beginning of it being literally shown. But if it's the beginning, then I hope they focus on more of the not necessarily the physical side of things.
Right.
Because I like the way Madoka did it with the psychological side of things. Because those transcend the age of whatever person is involved. I mean, it does. It's more relevant with the kids being involved, but
the slashing in Madoka Magica was way worse than the chomp. You know,
you might want to describe to them what you're kind of talking about.
Well, I don't want to spoil
with the spoilers, but I mean, like the idea of
the idea that it's not about what's physically happening; it's about seeing something that's just not right.
Right.
And it the slashes were creepy. It was unsettling. It's what is going on? Something's wrong here. Right. The chomp was more of the shock. You know.
Right. Jacob's saying this is a chomp kind of moment. This is an idea where your arm got bitten off, basically. Right. And now you have to stare at a stump and scream for a little bit because pain.
One thing that was a bright spot at the end of this episode. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure that the Hollow person is voiced by a favorite character of mine from Little Witch Academia. Which was yeah, I know you haven't seen that yet, but it was something where I was like, safe place. Okay, like, all right. So
this character you sense is a good character.
I sense this is a good character.
Okay. Yeah. I had a little bit of distrust for her because I felt like she watched this whole thing happen and didn't intervene until they were basically okay.
Yeah.
And then once that was happening, she might have been taking a little bit of an opportunity.
Yeah, who knows? But
yeah,
I don't know.
I get the vibe that this is not like Marulk. This is not someone like Marulk who just wants a friend. This is someone who's very comfortable being alone, likes being alone, doesn't like them necessarily being there, but has a little bit of compassion still.
Yeah.
But might not be all there. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like that's maybe the thing where she might have some customs or some things that she does, the Hollow. That it's like, that's not okay. Please don't do that to Rico. It's like, well, why not? It's like,
Gotcha.
I feel like also the fact that Rico's still in danger right now. You know, we know she's going to be okay, but she's still in a little bit of danger. Means that Reg will be on edge, and it will be interesting to see him be truly on edge to where it's not him being worried and, you know, still like hopeful, but like a little bit of despair, like a little bit of just the
and that's
a little bit of the negative emotion,
right? And that's I think where this next episode will have the chance to really shine, because it'll show that it's not just about the shock value of, you know, what's the brutal stuff that you can show on the show. It's the repercussions of that. It's how it affects the characters, because that's what makes those parts actually like worth being in the stories.
Oh boy.
So, yeah.
Oh, guys, I am so shook right now. Oh, but I'm gonna go drink some water.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll be good. But if you guys, you
want to
see the next episode of our Made in Abyss reactions right now, go check out that link in the description for our Patreon's early access. Yes. Get on the Discord, chat with us about story. You can help us relive our experience was here. Yeah, and we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. Or we still have some of our semblance of sanity.
Exactly.
We're on the edge of a semblance of sanity. We're gonna go drink some water. But anyways, I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.